name is Connie O'Clair. I'm here to do my oral presentation on BSL and the American Pit Bull. It'll be a pleasure to meet some of you for the first time. I'll put some names to some faces. Thank you. Alright, BSL is breed selective legislation, breed specific legislation, either one. It allows local governments to ban a pit bull or pit bull type dog without any previous regard to their temperament or their disposition. It doesn't matter. Pit bull is a blanket term used for dogs that look like pit bulls. Let's start with Miami-Dade. Miami-Dade enacted BSL a number of years ago, and what they found is that BSL only made Broward a dumping ground for pit bulls, the Everglades a dumping ground for pit bulls, and the shelters a dumping ground. Otherwise, they were released into the public. It just doesn't work, and the other counties are suffering for it. Pit bulls are really a docile-natured dog unless provoked. Let's see. Okay, now with the standards of pit bulls, who calls a pit bull a pit bull? Anybody. There are no set standards. There isn't anyone who is quote-unquote an expert. The only way to tell if a dog is a pit bull is with DNA. That is it. And as we both know, DNA is not only expensive and time-consuming, but it's just a major pain. Okay, so and we also have no major agency that we report bites to. So when we say our statistics at 4.5 million dog bites per year, we're still simply guessing because we aren't really sure. We don't have one specific agency that handles this. But out of those 4.5 million, only 10 to 20 are actually fatalities. So if you think about it, the odds there are pretty good compared to driving your car down the street. Being bitten or mauled to death by a dog is a lot safer than driving your car. Most dog bites are children, 5 to 9 years old. We know 5 and 9-year-olds, in that area, they pick, they poke, they prod, they don't pay attention to anything. They don't know the dog will turn and bite them. They jump on them, as my cousin did. My cousin jumped on a sleeping pit bull and he got bit in the face and he had to have plastic surgery on his face. Was it the dog's fault? No. Should the child have been supervised? Absolutely. So should the dog. Dog owners are required to have liability insurance that's very expensive. They are required to have a certain type of fencing that controls their animals. They have to pay a registration fee, and they have to muzzle their dogs in public. I don't know about you, but I think muzzling is way crueler than anything I've heard of. Cesar Millan, the dog whisperer, says that a number of years ago it was the Rottweiler, then it was a Doberman Pinscher, then it was the German Shepherd, then the Cane Corso, and now it's the American Pit Bull. So what we're saying is that no matter how you look at it, something's always going to be bullied and picked on and banned. We better pay attention because the next time it might be your dog. Let's see now, Saginaw, Michigan enacted a BSL, and it has since repealed that. They found that the expense way out cost what it was supposed to do. It cost $750,000 per year to have BSL in that city and county. Ontario, Canada made it illegal to own, transfer, abandon, or import a pit bull. Fines are $10,000 to 6 months in jail. And they've proven that most dogs bites are not pit bulls. We have a senator in Oklahoma who was trying to enact a BSL bill there, who has now since abandoned it because he did the background and found out the expense and just the time it costs to do this. It was way outmoded. It just didn't make any sense, so they disregarded that. What I believe is education is needed. The dogs came here in the 1800s from England. They were brought here as entertainment. They weren't pit dogs. They were entertainment for poor people who couldn't afford any other form of entertainment. They were AKC registered in 1936, and in 1972 the name was changed to the American Staffordshire Terrier. The AKC says their weight can vary a little bit. They should have unusual strength and a powerful head. Dog fighting is a crime. We need to report it and stop it. Dog fighting is a vicious, ugly crime, and it needs to be stopped. Also, dog fighting brings other crime. It brings criminals, illegal gambling, drugs, homicides, guns. I became an advocate for pit bulls because of dog fighting. Watch for signs of dog fighting. You've got to remember, people that dog fight are desensitized to violence. They show no empathy or care or concern for anything. There's two different kinds of dog fighting. There's street fighting and there's professional fighting. Professional fighters are harder to catch. They're highly organized and secretive. They use abandoned buildings, barns, warehouses for their fights. They have guns in the rafters with armed guards everywhere. Street fighting is just your local corner guys who think, oh, throwing two dogs in the backyard is so much fun and taking a couple bets. It's a complete different thing, but they are both crimes. Watch for pit bull fighting paraphernalia, tow chains, logging chains, multiple dogs, treadmills, chains, whips. They're all signs of dog fighting. There are a lot of good stories about pit bulls. There's a lot of bad stories about pit bulls. Pit bull is just a slang term for a number of different breeds of dogs. The American Temperament Society found 83.9%